Welcome to the Manifestation Muscle. I'm your host, Andy Hoffer. And ignore me. I feel in a goofy mood because this is the second time that I'm recording this, but the first time was just practice, right? So today we're going to talk about how manifestation is very eerily similar to going to the gym. And I just want to start out with a small definition on what is manifestation, anyways. Manifestation is the art of getting out of your own way to have what you want. Yeah, that's all it really is. And the fact that we are in our own way with anything is mind-boggling to me. But today we're going to start breaking stuff down, and we're going to start talking about how we can not only increase our capacity to receive more, but we can increase our capacity to receive it faster. Okay, so let's build that manifestation muscle today. So manifestation is not a wish, it is a workout. And you don't get strong just going to the gym. That's not how it works. You actually have to do something. You have to engage the muscles. You have to stimulate them. You have to be doing something there that's going to either increase your muscle size or your endurance, get you stronger, lose the weight, build the muscle, whatever it is that you're going to the gym for, you have to do something. Now, the knowledge and the consciousness that you actually have the capacity to change your life, that's the equivalent of just showing up to the gym. Yes, you have the capacity to change your life. Consciousness number one is really figuring out that the day is made up of choice points. Throughout the entire day, you have about 1 million different opportunities to shift your destiny. Right now, I could just turn the camera off, not post something tomorrow, never post anything again, just fade into oblivion, go back to working an engineering job, or go selling jet skis in the south of Florida. Like, I could change my life so drastically with just one choice. And we're given millions of them throughout the day. So yes, it is very important for you to understand that you being conscious of that fact doesn't automatically mean that you're going to get what you want. We're trying to be conscious creators, and that means figuring out how to actively engage our manifestation muscle into creating the things that we want. You get stronger by doing the reps. So waking up is just arriving at the building. Now, I don't mean a waking up in the sense of I was asleep, now I'm awake in the physical sense. It's I was asleep and now I'm awake in a spiritual sense. Being conscious is actually really hard to do. You have to be in awareness that every single thing around you has been and will be affected by the choices that you make. The partner that you have, the children that you have, the job you have, the clothes you wear, the hairstyle that you have, the money that you have or lack of money that you have. Every single thing that is in your life is there because you have made it so. And most of the time, people will say, oh, yes, I'm very conscious, but then go throughout their day and completely go back to sleep. Consciousness takes effort to really focus that like energy all day long, to be aware that you are conscious every single moment of the day is a skill. Some people, it comes more naturally. Some people, it takes a lifetime to figure that out. And sometimes people don't figure it out at all. So my point here is that I want you guys to start understanding that the consciousness that you have can be built into a more powerful and a more long-term effect that you are going through. The ego is not your amigo. The ego is the attorney, it's the litigator, it's the fighter, it's the one that says, no, we need to stay here. This is comfortable. I'm familiar with this. no matter how painful it is, I know this pain. I know what it's like to be in this job, be in this relationship, have this amount of money or lack of money. So your brain and your ego are basically created to keep you in that bubble, keep you locked into that ecosystem that you've built. And it often will argue for you to remain lazy. It will argue for you to indulge in your fears. It will argue for you to stay asleep and unconscious, because out there, opportunities abound. Out there, all that crazy, I don't know what's going to happen, chaos, that's too much. That's scary. That's danger, 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 danger. And it often will tell you the things that you want to hear rather than the things that you need to hear. So we're trying to really break free from that litigator. We're trying to break free from all the logical reasons that we cannot change. We have to fight through it and make it to the next level by not only showing ourselves that we can change, but showing ourselves that change, failure, opportunities, they're not dangerous. They're actually where our expansion is going to be. So there are two pillars to spiritual training. One is having the thought and having it powerful enough. And then the second is having the thought and holding it for enough time. So lifting would be the power and cardio would be the endurance. So when you're lifting a weight, you know that you don't just pick up a weight once and boom, you got the muscles. That's not how that works. You have to continually pick it up over and over again. Same thing with your manifestation. Throughout the day, you have to continually pick up that manifestation effort over and over again. You have to keep reminding yourself, what do I want? Why do I want it? Feel the energy of it. There's this really famous manifestation coach, Regan Hillier, who has a practice that I did for a long time where you set your alarm clock for 1 hour intervals. And every single hour, you remind yourself, oh, this is what I want. And you get into the feeling of, oh, this feels so good. I love this. This is amazing. I have this thing. And eventually what happens is, because you've become the person who just feels like that all the time, that you have this thing, you're going to look around and be like, oh, I already have it. That's crazy. That's just how it works. You have to be able to constantly remind yourself with the different reps that, yes, I have this. Now, that's one thing. The second thing is, when you remind yourself of this thing, how long can you keep that thought for? So that's the entire cycle. It's like, one is, how powerful is that thought? And two, how long can you keep that powerful thought? Because the stronger the signal, the easier it's going to come to you. And the longer you have the signal, the faster it's going to come to you. So if you have it as a massive signal that you're sustaining for a long time, you're going to get this really powerful manifested entity into your life really quickly. So those are the two things that you want. It's raising your vibration and the intensity of the thoughts around the manifestation. And then also, how long do you keep that thought? So lifting builds the vibration, the tools that we use at the gym, the dumbbells, the weights, all the machines that you could think of, the squat machine, the hack machine, the leg curls, all of the wonderful stuff that you can use there, they have their purpose. Same thing for manifestation tools, whether you're doing prayer and meditation, whether you're doing affirmations and you're doing them in the right way, or you're doing a spiritual audit. You have to think, what part of this manifestation do I need to raise the vibration for? So I'm going to start at the bottom here with the spiritual audit. I did a video on how music is keeping you broke. And I say that tongue in cheek, but really it's about doing an audit of all the material that we consume in terms of TV, radio, music, whether it's podcasts, whether it's YouTube, social media. And what is it that we're actually allowing into our field of vision that we're consuming with our eyes? And really starting to hone in on what is a message that I want to receive and embody and have. Like if somebody keeps telling you, oh, dating is hard, dating is hard, dating is hard, and all you're listening to is music that is about heartbreak and cheating, like you're reinforcing that. And I'm not here to say that you can't listen to, a crazy fun song that might not have a good message, but be conscious of what you're doing it for. What is the purpose of this in my life? And what really is it that I want to embody and have in my heart and soul? And so be careful of that. The other thing is affirmations. I love affirmations, but affirmations have to be done in the right way. Now, how do you do affirmations? Affirmations are, in a sense, just declarations that you're affirming, but they have to be from a high vibration state already. So if you're angry or upset and you're trying to talk your way out of it, that's not an affirmation. That's just delusion. So coming from a place of I'm happy, I'm whole, I'm healthy, and then saying, I'm also wealthy, you're going to manifest the wealth a lot quicker. Now, again, if you're sitting there and you have like a pile of bills in front of you and you're like, everything is past due, collectors calling you, and you're like, la, 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 I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I got money, I got money, I got money. The universe is going to say, no, that's not how this works. No, we have bills to pay. No, the collectors are calling you. And so it's not an affirmation, it's just delusion. An affirmation works best when you're already in a high vibration state. So whenever you're excited, those are the times to be doing affirmations. And then prayer, meditation, and journaling, my three favorite. It's not like I wrote a book on journaling or anything like that, which you can find in the notes for this video. But, lighting went all crazy on me. But you have to really think, what is it that you are bringing to the table when you are praying and meditating and journaling? What is the purpose of them? What is the reason for you to do them? You have to go in them with a outcome. Like, I'm journaling because I would like to process these negative emotions. I am journaling because I want to create my future in a vision. I am praying because I want to show gratitude for the things that I have. And really coming at these tools with a purpose is great. I mean, you're not going to go to dumbbells and do leg raises with them. That's just not how that works. You're not going to go to the leg curl machine to build your shoulders. Every tool has a purpose, and exploiting that purpose for the maximum benefit will get you maximum benefit. Seems pretty, logical to me. And so using these different tools, highly recommended. So we're going to talk about cardio one more time and how endurance plays a really key aspect in holding your manifestation. So, you can't just go to the gym in the morning and then eat like crap all day long. You can't go to the gym in the morning and then bed rot all day. Like, you're kind of defeating the purpose. So really, when you're meditating and when you're dream building, when you're writing in your dream book, when you're journaling, and you have 20 minutes of great peace, but then the rest of your day is like rush, 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 anxiety, depression, sadness, anger, grief, shame, it kind of defeats the purpose. So the cardio of this is trying to hold that thought in your head, in your brain, right here, for more than just those 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes that you have in the morning, or in my case, that 5 hours. You have to go through the entire day. Yes, I said 5 hours, but you have to go through the entire day really holding on to the thought of, I have this thing is in my life. I am worthy to manifest. I am worthy to have this in my life, because you know what? You are. So bigger manifestations require bigger nervous system capacity. That's the whole masterclass right there. That's really what it is. So I love this. You cannot hold $1 million manifestation with a $10 nervous system. To me, that really signifies a lot of things. But here's the thing. If you got a $10 nervous system, manifest the hell out of $10, right? Because then you start to build up like, oh, you know what? $10 is easy. Let me now manifest $20. Then you build that up and you're manifesting $20 left and right. And then you do $50. And then you keep building and building and building. That's how manifestation is a muscle, because you have to start creating the belief from within that not only are you worthy, but that it's possible. So creating more requires you to become more. Think of the people who crash diet and lose weight really fast, only to gain it all back, and sometimes even more. Think about the people who get cash windfalls, from they inherited some money or they won the lottery and then they're broke 5 years later again. You have to be able to craft the person who can hold all that money, all that love, all that attention, all that whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. You have to be able to be the person who has that thing. So it requires you to expand. Bad forms cause spiritual injury. And this is my plea here, to know the difference between a coach and a therapist. So there are 3 different ways in which I want to talk about that people often will hold spirituality accountable, but really don't understand what's happening. So toxic positivity, like I was saying, pretending like your life isn't falling apart around you, that ain't the move. Pretending like your life isn't absolutely in the gutter ain't the move. It's about being realistic. Now, what does realistic mean? That doesn't mean dumping on your life. That doesn't mean thinking you can't get out of it and turn it around. It means that taking stock of what is actually happening and having hope in the knowledge that you can transform it and change it and turn it all around. Now, second is praying for abundance while making choices from lack. So you're mentally saying, I want something, but in your actions, you are absolutely doing the opposite. I want money, but I have $1,000 in my bank account. I'm going to go buy a $1,000 purse. Why did you do that? Oh, because your neighbor has a nice $1,000 purse. So you're making choices that are in direct conflict with whatever it is that you want, and you're not even cognizant of these things. And then symptom number 3, meditating to avoid having these hard conversations. The spiritual bypass. Oh, I'm just going to pray my day away and get $1 million coming to my door. Boy, if that were serious, I would do that all the time. Like, do you know how much I meditate? Do you know how much I spend time in the spiritual realm? I promise you, that's not how that works. Now, for some people, actually, I did a review on Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, and you should check that out. And in that video series, there were just so many magical things that happened to him, because he had basically zero to little ego. So a lot of magical things happened to him without having to really try. He just saw the opportunities. He saw the magic around him. And that is very possible. But for most of us, right? For the regular person, it's going to require some work. And I know that for me, it takes a lot of work. And so the reason that I said at the beginning of this slide is that, know the difference between a coach and a therapist is that there are some things that spirituality practices, coaches, mentors are not capable of addressing. There are some traumas, some mental disorders all mental disorders that need to be addressed by a clinical professional. Do not seek out a coach. Do not seek out a book. Do not seek out a podcast to help cover up your PTSD, because that's not how that works. Okay. Next. Friction is the ego leaving the body. Just like sweat is fat leaving the body, soreness is weakness leaving the body. I love those. My gym days, I swear to God, like they always had a saying for everything. So there is a healthy soreness. There is definitely a healthy soreness. After you go to the gym for the first time or you hit it really hard, you're going to go home and you know what? Your arms are sore. You're telling people, don't make me laugh because my abs hurt, trying to sit on the toilet and like your butt hurts because it was butt day or because it was glute day. That's embarrassing. So these can all be signs of muscle growth and, getting stronger. Same thing when, you have a healthy cry. Same thing when you have this big emotional release. Same thing for, when you've been journaling and you're just exhausted because you've processed all this emotional stuff that has come up and it becomes like really exhausting. That is normal. However, again, you go to the gym, you tear a muscle, you sprain an ankle. That's not good. Again, I'm totally advocating for people to understand that coaches and therapists are not the same thing. Sometimes when you're doing spiritual work, you get to a point where it's about physical trauma, about mental trauma, about things that are beyond the capacity of what a book can provide you. So I am one to always mention, seek professional help if that is what you need. So beware of spiritual maintenance disguised as growth. So the spiritual plateau often occurs when you fall for the sunk cost fallacy. Same thing happens in the gym. You're going to the gym for a year and you're not making any progress anymore. What do? You switch up the exercises, you switch up the routine, you switch from low rep, high volume to low volume, higher rep. Like you change things up to stimulate the muscles in the body in a different way. Now, spiritually, that's the same thing. You might have to change the way that you journal. You might have to go from, just meditating in the morning to meditating in the morning and at night. You may have to add more practices. You might have to take practices out. You may have to adjust and shift and pivot and maybe seek other coaches, other teachers, other books, other podcasts, things that will bring you to different perspectives that can help you to process some parts of yourself. Because the worst thing you can do is say, I've been doing this for so long and it's not like nothing is moving right now, but, Old Faithful didn't fail me before. So why is she failing me now? It's because sometimes that plateau means things got to shift. So the ultimate training protocol, have, do, be. You guys know my favorite, be, do, have. Like this is the paradigm of all paradigms in terms of manifestation. So have the result. What body, the money, the job, the car, the man, the woman, whatever it is you're trying to manifest. What do you want? You don't know? Okay, define it. And then ask yourself the 5 whys. Why do I want it? Why is that? Why? Keep asking the question why 5 times and get to the heart of what exactly is it that I want. And then start manifesting from there. Next, do the action. What boundaries and choices does it require? What is it that you're doing that is pushing you towards your manifestation and which ones are pushing you away from it. You can't have them both. So we have to start getting in line with what is it that you want. Now, B, the identity. Who is the person that can hold this? Who is the person that can be married? Who is the person that can be abundant? Who is the person that can be healthy? Who is the person that can be these things? Because that's really, really important. And this, I really love this statement about amateurs forced to do, athletes trains the be. The identity of being an athlete comes in: how do you train? How do you rest? How do you hydrate? What do you eat? Do you go out at night? How often are you spending time with your family? How often are you training? How often are you switching up your training? You know, do you have a coach? Do you have team members? Do you have people who support you? Do you have a system in place? Like, what's your relationship to winning? What's your relationship to losing? What's your relationship to traveling? What's your relationship to injuries? And doing all that mindset work. And you think that, oh, that 5 minutes I spent in the morning thinking, hey, I want a new job that's going to be fulfilling, is going to get you the thing that you want? That's not how it works. You have to really hone in on, I'm the person who has the job. I'm the person who works a 9 to 5. I'm the person who is fulfilled by my job. What is my relationship to working? What is my relationship to getting hired? What is my relationship to the salary? What is my relationship to having a boss? What is my relationship to possibly getting fired? So really creating an ecosystem around what it is that you want versus just saying, oh, I want this thing, hopefully I get it. I mean, you can feel the difference in the energy in both of those. So you can spend years trying to manifest something, or you can supercharge it by getting yourself a coach. Something that I have learned, I spent $40,000 on my coach, and not because I thought that this specific person is, you know, so magical that whatever she does is going to be so radically and wildly different that I'm going to magically change. That's not how that works. I spent the money because I knew that if I'm putting a little skin in the game, anything that woman told me to do, immediately I was going to do it. Immediately I was going to, like, not only do what she said, but I was going to research it. I was going to work it. I was going to practice it. I was going to hone it. I was going to cultivate it. I was going to talk to her about it. I was going to cry about it. I was going to, like, really dove in head first. You know why? Because to me, that's how serious my manifestation was. To me, that is how serious I take my life, is that I'm willing to go all in financially, because I knew that for me, I've been trying to do something for a very long time and it's not working. Then you got to ask for help. Asking for help is one of the best signals that you can put out to the universe. The humility that it takes to come to your knees and kick your ego to the side, because remember, your ego is not your amigo, and say to yourself, I need help, and get somebody to show you how to manifest, show you how to achieve what you want, how to hold up the mirror and say, yes, I want to shift to the person who can have the thing that I want. And when they hold it to you, you better look. You have to be willing to look. You have to take that leap, because the thing that I find so impressive is that we come to this planet and think, I should have everything together. I should have it figured out. I should know better. I should. And the truth is, nobody gave us a manual on how to live life. We were brought up by people who also were just winging it. They were brought up by others who were just winging it. And we're sitting here like the blind leading the blind. But there are some of us and some other people who have figured out ways in order to really make this experience of our life work for us. This is ancient wisdom. This is stuff that many people have been doing for millennia. So it's not like we've discovered, sliced bread again. It's all about, we have figured out, oh, these techniques work, and this is how you get what you want. These techniques work, and it gets you proof, and it gets you to the next level. For me, coaching has transformed my life radically because it takes what you want and the timeline and it supercharges it and it decreases that timeline by like 100 times. So if you want something now, humble yourself enough to say, hey, I need help. So one of the ways that which I help besides my one-on-one coaching is the 21-day Be Do Have experience. And in it, we talk about what do you want? We go through all of that. We dive in deep. We figure that out so that you can begin to create your ecosystem. What is it that you need to do in order to be in alignment with that? Like we start to look at how is it that you're currently operating, and you get to see, hey, actually, I'm operating in a way that's pushing my manifestations away. And start to see, wait a minute, this is why I haven't gotten it, that me doing this one thing. And then finally, who are you? What are the beliefs that you have? How do you talk to yourself? Figuring all of that out in order to be able to manifest has brought hundreds of people. I've had hundreds of people go through this, the things that they have manifested at the end of it, money, children, or one person had a child. We've had people who have manifested jobs, the widest array of things. Actually, somebody manifested a trip to Hawaii. Somebody on the first day manifested $1,000. This is wild. If you really are ready to do the work, if you're ready to hold up the mirror to yourself, if you're ready to start looking at how you are responsible for your world around you, take accountability for it and shift so that you can get the things that you want rather than blaming everybody outside of you, blaming your parents, blaming your life, blaming your circumstances, blaming the government, blaming your past life. If you're ready to actually just say, you know what, screw it. I take responsibility for everything. Everything else, yeah, they set me up, but I will take the responsibility for that because that's how strong I am and I can change it. You're going to see so many miracles, so many miracles. So I'd like to welcome you to the manifestation gym, y'all. Now that you know, you won't be able to unsee it. Now that you are there in the thick of it, now that you have been conscious for a little bit, there is no way that you can unsee it. Till next time, you guys, remember every Thursday I have masterclasses. There's a link to sign up for them so that they can come directly to your inbox. Also, Thursday mornings, I go live. That's always so fun. Last week, I walked into a tree branch and then the sprinkler hit me. It was pretty crazy, okay? Wild stuff happens when I'm online. And yeah, I have Manifestation Monday group circles. Email me at andy@andyhuffercoaching.com if you'd like to be included in those. So much stuff going on, you guys. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to get you all your wishes to come true. Love you guys.